Hello, folks. This is me, Dr. Godswill Key on Communication Moments. I welcome you wherever you may be. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, or it could be good night. Uh, Thanks for tuning in once again to listen to Communication Moments, where we learn those things that ensure effective communication wherever you may be and in whatever situation. Please remember that we are engaged, besides this broadcast, we are engaged in consulting, we are engaged in preparing your conferences, we are engaged in advertising, and so on and so forth. So whatever it is your need may be, don't forget to call us for that. And thank you for those who have called in the last few days before this broadcast. Yeah, we have lots of things to talk about concerning internal communication modes in an organization. We'll look at that briefly. We shall look at the issue of phone calls. It's quite routine, and it's something that people will say, what's there? Is it not in phone, making calls, saying, hello, how are you? No, it goes beyond that, especially if you're looking at it to sell an organization or as a tool of communication, which it is essentially. The phone call connects the buyer with the seller. The phone call connects the organization with the client. The phone call is that thing that ensures it stimulates an interest and certain responses. So it's quite important. It may appear to be nothing, but it's quite important. So when we are and it's oral, and by the way, it leaves a lasting impression in the minds of people. For instance, if you're soliciting for a business from an organization, if your call is not cordial, if it is not polite, it may cost you that what you're seeking for. And at the same time, if you're an organization and you're vending and you have something to do or whatever it is, whatever call that you're placing, you have to ensure that that call is also cordial because it creates an impression. It tells the receiver or the other organization about the kind of person, it introduces the organization more or less. It humanizes the organization. So phone calls are quite important in organizations, and those who are there, who are more or less like gatekeepers, receptionists, those at the front desk, and all those in customer service, and even the MDs themselves, whatever position you are, you should pay attention to the sound of your voice, how you articulate your words. Those are the things that matter. The elocution. Some certain people listening, but most importantly, when you're making a call or when you're receiving a call, you don't need to be abrupt, even if it's a friend or somebody you're familiar with, even if it's an annoying somebody. The least or the worst you can do is not to take that call if it's somebody he recognizes. But if this is a call for a business or to seek advice or information, what you have to do is to be cordial. The tone of your voice has to be polite. Some people put off potential clients or businesses by the tone of their voice. The tone of the voice can make or mar. So, and there's an organization also making phone calls. Your call it has an introductory. By the way, phone calls are not supposed to be long. It's official phone calls. Especially any call you want to make in the office situation has to be short anyway. So where your phone call it has to be introductory. If you're calling in an organization, you're so and so, this is what you do, this is your organization, and this is what you want. No need for a lot of rigmarole. And in all this, the call has to be cordial. The call has to be polite. The call has to be dialogic, so to say. It has to be conversational. It has to be interesting to the person who is listening. And at the other side, if you're receiving a call, you also don't have to be abrupt. Because, like we say in Nigeria, who knows tomorrow? You don't need to be abrupt. You don't need to be dismissive of a call that is coming in, because it creates an impression in the mind of the person that you're having that ping pong exercise with. We have so much to talk about phone calls, which I think we are going to continue. But for now, we have a lot going on in my country, Nigeria, and we need to look at it. We are all citizens of that great country with loads of potential. But like we do in this program, we simply look at the communicative consequences of certain actions our officers or whatever situation it may be may be all about. And in this case, we are looking at certain speeches that have been made by our political office leaders. And in this case, I want to talk about the Senate President, Senator Godswill Akpabio, and I also want to talk about the Deputy House Speaker, certain comments they've made with regards to. But for Senator Akpabio, I think the minders, the media minders, even the political minders have to have a lot of job cut out for them, because he symbolizes the politics of Nigeria, and whatever he says is weighty and has a lot of meaning attached to it. So the communication referring to your female senators, as you're not communicating in a beer parlor or in a club, it's so undignifying. You don't get such communication from other places. And this is not the kind of communication you'll expect in the hallowed chambers of the National Assembly or even at home. It tells a lot about the person. So that communication, but I'm quite happy that he apologized. He gave a very sober apology about what he said, but the damage has been made. I will advise that you don't get emotional, especially when you're an exalted member, when you're an excellent member. You should wear the personality of the office you stand for. And then the protest, the Nigerian protest has commenced, and I've watched with interest and found out that our leaders have also been removed from what is going on in the among the polity, and that is not supposed to be. Especially those who are said there as representatives. You are the voice. The legislators are the voice to the executive, which should check the executive. So even if you have to be partisan, there are certain comments you don't make. Let them be protesting while you are sleeping, or will be eating while they are protesting. No, that is not political. It removes you from the pain of the people, and it goes to show that you don't have the interest of the people at heart. The communication was totally negative, and it shows an aloofness and I want to say arrogance on the part of those communication. It goes to show that you don't feel, you're not empathetic, you're not in line with what these people are suffering, and it's not supposed to be so. And the other thing I want to look at briefly is the stereotyping by one of the spokesman of the president, stereotyping a certain group of people, a major ethnic group in the country, and wanting to force false impression on them. That is a very dangerous trend and should be discouraged. Nigeria is a country where if everybody works together, it has loads of potential to make everybody great. No need to bring in such misinformation, stereotyping that could lead to unfortunate consequences. I want to believe that our political leaders need a lot They need to engage a lot in communication, to know how to communicate and what to communicate and how not to communicate. And again, the protest is going on. Like I advised the last time I was of the view, is a professional advice that our leaders, starting from the president to the local government chairman to the councillors, should go out there and talk to their people. As at this point in time, it is quite important that the president addresses the people. It's important that the president persuades the people. The language, the communication should be persuasive. The communication should uh, generate an understanding about what, should sympathize. And that is what the people need most, not to stay aloof, not to stay away, or not to engage in communication, hostile communication that will further anger the people. I will stop here for now, and I pray we will get it right. Keep tuning into this program. My name is Dr. Godswill, Communication Moments. We are here to handle your communication needs. We are here to consult. We are here to provide advertising advice, your conferencing and others. We engage in that. Thank you once again, and see you next time.